All right, so I thought I'd do just a quick video here covering the effects engines of number 3 and number 4 on the QU-16 console. And what I'm going over does not apply to the QU-24 and QU-32. All right, so when setting up effects on the QU-16 board, FX1 and FX2 have their own controls. So when we select these, we can manage the inputs going into those effects as well as the master volume for those effects. And over here we have FX1, FX2 send. This is on the layers. We can control that, and we have FX return 1 and 2. But if you'll notice here, we have FX3 return, FX4 return, but we do not have an FX3 or 4 send. And this is what makes using FX3 and FX4 a little bit different. All right, so with only 2 FX buttons over here, how do we access FX3 and FX4? All right, we're going to be using channel 14 right here. This is our main output. We're on the left and right out, and we've got a good signal coming in, so we know front of house and everything works. And I've got no effects returning to this, so it's just a dry signal coming out of front of house. So let's add some effects to FX3 and FX4. Okay, this is how I would set the effects up, in my opinion, in order of importance. Now, we already have FX1 as reverb and FX2 as delay, but let's say that we want to add a separate reverb to a snare drum. So we're going to go into our FX3, and we have a few choices here. We can do it as an insert, we can do it as a mix to return, or a channel to return. Now, what I'm going to show here is how I think that stuff would be done in order of importance. The option we can look at is using a channel to return. So let's select our channel to return, and it's looking for what input do we want to use. So we're going to select a single input to use to send to the effects engine. So I'm going to select input number 14 because that is what my mic is currently attached to. Now, if I was setting this up for a drum, I may be using input channel 2 or maybe channel 3. All right, let's select our other button here. We need to select the effect that we want to use. And let's say I'm going to add something different here just so it sounds a little bit different. What is this here? All right, let's do the ADT choral delay. Let's use that one. Now, this is probably something you wouldn't use, but I'm just going to use it here for the sake of the video. So let's recall that. All right, so here we have the setup over here, and this is for FX3. Now, what this means is that for us to get this effects to work, the signal has to be coming through channel 14. Test 1, 2. Actually, let me back out here a little bit so you can sort of see better what's going on. All right, test 1, 2, and I'm using channel 14. Test, test, test. All right, that looks good. Now, FX3 is using channel 14. So what we need to do is now select, we're on the left and right output, so we need to select our layers. Test 1, 2. We do not have an we do not have an FX3 and FX4 master sends. All we can do is return. And as you can tell already right here, FX3, the signal's already coming in. So all we've got to do, test 1, 2, is now return it to the front of house. Test 1, 2. All right, so this is how we get an effect using the channel over to a return. So we've taken channel 14 and we've returned it for FX3. Then just to control the effect, that's all we need to do. We can turn the effect down here. Now the other thing to note about using this particular channel to return, test 1, 2. If I go back to the channel, I'm on channel 14 here. As I bring it down, that's also going to take it out of the effect. So a lot of times when you're setting something up for a snare, test 1, 2, usually when you find a good spot, you can just keep a snare fader pretty much in one position. Okay, so this is how we get a channel to return type of effect to work. And we were using an FX3 for this. This also works for FX4. Now, let's take a look at FX4. Let's set up the FX4 differently than we did for FX3. So we've got FX4 selected, and what we're going to use here is a mix to return. So we're going to select that mix, and what mix do we want to use? And all these mixes over here directly correlate with the mixes that we have down the side over here. All right, so we've got our mixes, our monitor mixes set up right now 1 through 5, but we're not using mix 9 and 10. So let's select this mix button as a master effects send. Okay, so we're going to go down here and select mix 9 and 10. Got that selected. Let's hit apply. Yep, there we go. Now, what do we want in this mix? Let's just set up something different here. Well, if that's all right, we'll use the same thing here, the ADT choral delay. We'll just set up that, the same one as FX3. And this way of utilizing effects to get them back into the board, this would be the next way that I would recommend using for the different types of ways of getting effects back into the board. The first one was the channel to return, which is great for the snare. This one here pretty much behaves just like FX1 and FX2, but we're using the mix 9 and 10 as a mix master. All right, we're going to select mix 9 and 10. We're going to turn this up here because this is now FX4 mastered. Just like FX1, reverb, FX2 is delay. Mix 9 and 10 is now a master send for FX4. All right, let's go back to our main mix. Test 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 2 2 2 2. All right, good level. You can see it right here. But let's switch over here now to mix 9 and 10. This is our master. Turn that up. We've got a lot of it, good volume amount being sent to it. And to return it now, all right, let's select left and right to return it. And over here, we've got our layers. We're going to move off of that input layer over into where the effects are. FX4, as you can see right here, is now has some light coming on with it. Test 1 2. So we're going to turn this up. Test 1 2 2 2 1 2 2 2 2. This is FX4, so let me just move this back. 2 2. Oh, there we go. 1 2 2. All right, so using the option of mix to return allows us to use one of the mix buses. In other words, on this console, I'm using mix 9 and 10 to work as a full mix send option. Okay, utilizing the option of the mix to return is pretty good, especially if you've got some other monitor mixes that you're not using. You can use those just like you can on an FX1 and FX2. Okay, I'm going to stay on FX4 for this last one here. This is the one that I would not probably recommend using unless you had a specific need for it. But this would be as an insert option. And just like on the analog boards, when you have an insert, the insert comes in directly onto a channel and it processes the signal on that particular channel, and then it just sends it through. So what we're going to do is we're going to select FX4 to work as an insert and not really as an effects mix. So I'm going to use channel 14 because that's what we are using for this. All right, channel 14. We're going to apply. And just for the purpose of this, I'm going to keep the same type of effect on here. Okay, and the insert option really is just as inserting, let's say, a gate or a compressor into a single channel. But as I said, I'm going to use this effects here so you can hear and understand what's going on. And there is no return for it. Even though we're on FX4, we won't be returning anything to the board because it's working as an insert. Test 1, 2. So let's get our main PA. Test 1, 2. 1, 2. All right, now let's go through and add this effect. Okay, right over here, we have an insert button. So if I just push this, this is going to turn the insert on for FX4. 2, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2. And its level is actually only being controlled by what happens here on the channel. So if I bring it down like that, there's no volume for the PA and there's absolutely no effect. But as soon as I turn it up, an effect goes through. Okay, this is how an insert works. There is no main output and we are not returning anything up here. There's no returns taking place. This is all strictly dedicated to this single channel. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come here and turn it off, and then that's how we disable the effect. All right, now a different way here to manage the insert type of effects is you don't need to have the effects screen up. I'm on channel 14, and if we look at the processing for channel 14, I'm sure the screen may look very familiar, but if you notice over here, we've got an effects set up as an insert, and then the other option is as a ducker insert. And I don't know if you can tell, but it says FX4 inserted. Now if we look at this, I'm going to switch to a different channel and you'll see some of that stuff go away. All right, there's channel 13. Obviously there's nothing happening with it, nothing's assigned to it, but if I select channel 14, we can see stuff is assigned to it. So instead of being actually in the effect to get the effects to work, we can just turn it on and off at the channel, just like this. Test 1, 2, 2, and we can turn it off. So this is probably the last way or the last method that I would ever use to get effects into the board. All right, so let's go back to our FX screen. All right, FX3, I had it set up as a channel to return, and FX4, we had it set up as a mixed return, but I set it up in this example here as an insert. Now, in looking at this, let me bring the screen back up. So when not using FX1 and FX2, but if you need to use FX3, FX4, professionally speaking, I would use the channel return first. I would then use a mix return, and then the last one that I would ever use to get effects into the board would be as an insert. All right, well that just about covers what I wanted to show on how to use and manage the FX3 and FX4 processors. Okay, and something on this type of getting the effect into the console from a channel is its ability to have the signal either dry or wet. And this is what this meter is right here. The figure on the left, I don't know how well you can see it, that's a letter D. You got a red line, and then you got a W on the right hand side. It sets how dry or wet that you want the signal. Now here it's set in the middle, and personally I would probably just leave it at that point unless you're really doing something different. So I'm going to select this here as an example, and I'm going to turn the knob over, and it's pretty much dry. The signal's very dry, so I'm going to move it to the right, and it's going to come really wet, kind of soundy. Let me just turn it up a little bit for you. 2, 1, 2. But if we go too far to the right W, then all we're hearing is the effect. So in other words, we won't hear the dry signal, which is what you're hearing right now. So if I'm going to move this all the way over to the right, all we're going to hear is the effect. And that is the effect. So really, what you're not hearing is the actually my initial voice. So to hear that, I need to add the dry signal back into it. Test 1, 2. Okay, to give you a better idea of how the dry and wet signal works is in reverb. All right, let's turn on the effect, and what I've done is I've changed the effect from this echoing, I've changed it to a reverb. So I've just turned down the channel, so let's turn on the insert. I'm going to bring up 14 as I'm talking. 2, 2. You can hear the difference. It's a heavy reverb. 2, 1, 2. Okay, that's a dry signal. I'm going to go into the full wet side. 2, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2. My voice is completely gone out of this, and all you hear is reverb. All you hear is reverb. Test 1, 2, 2. Let's put some of that back in, and that sounds a lot better. So I said, just be careful of using too much of a wet effect because it can really cloud, it can really make your signal cloudy. So just make sure you know how much dry and wet you need to use, and I would just recommend starting it off in the center. Having something too wet, too much of an effect can be really problematic. All right, thanks for watching. Hope this helps.